So you've passed your test, what's next? So many things actually. First things first, you need to wait for your driving license to come through and your CPC to come through. If your CPC hasn't come through, then you need to do your module 4, and then that will then trigger the car to be sent to your house. Normally, if you've done your mod 4 before the test, what we tend to find is they come 1 or 2 days of each other, and you need to order your tacho card as well. So a lot of drivers don't know this, and it's very important information, I think, because a lot of people think they can't order the tachograph card until you've passed your driving test. Now, you can order your tachograph card whenever you like, it's fine. So you just go on the .gov website, follow the tachograph link and order a tachograph card. I believe last time I checked there was £32, but if you get that in before you pass, now I don't want you to tempt fate and get it thinking you're going to pass, but if you've got that there for when you pass, then you've got it already, so we don't need to be waiting more time and filling out forms. When you pass your driving test, you can just go and apply for the jobs. Now, that being said, the question we get asked a lot here is, what can I drive now I've passed my class 2 driving test? So this is for class 2 video, guys, yeah. So when you pass your class 2, there's a number of companies you can go into. So we'll start from bin wagons. So yeah, you can drive the bin wagons. I believe they get up to 30 tons of waste. But yes, you can drive the bin wagons, and obviously all these vehicles that I'm explaining, you will need some training on them to understand how they work and stuff like that, but these are the vehicles you can actually have the entitlement to drive. So yeah, you can also do concrete wagons, so the different lengths of concrete wagons, and obviously different amounts of how much they can hold, and again they weigh quite a lot, especially with fully laden with concrete. It can weigh quite a lot. Again, a lot of training is needed for this. Personally, I've done this one and the bin wagon myself. It's a good industry to go into. You need thick skin really to go into that kind of job role, because you're working in the construction site, and you know, they don't make it easy for you to get in. Sometimes the driveways are quite narrow. So we can also drive, a lot of people don't know this and they're quite shocked when I tell them, but you can also drive you know, a class 2 car transporter. Yeah, obviously not with the extended trailer on, but you can drive the car transporter, which is just a rigid vehicle. So yeah, you can do that as well. You can do recovery vehicles, you can drive them. Again, I'm not saying you can pass your test and go and drive them. You will need enhanced training off the company you're going with, but category wise, entitlement wise, yes, you're allowed to drive them. And there's a few other vehicles you can drive, like you can drive the road sweepers, for example. You can drive drainage vehicles, you can drive scaffolding wagons, and there's so many companies out there. Now, this myth that I keep hearing, my learners coming in and they've heard it off many people, is when you pass your driving test, no one will take you on. Yes, they will take you on. You've just got to look hard enough. You've got to be willing to do some agency work, and if you go and sign up with an agency, granted, they probably will give you not the best of work. You will be given probably the worst truck of the fleet, whatever company you go in, because you're an agency guy, they don't know you or anything, so they'll probably give you the worst vehicles. But that's good. I would do that personally to get some experience, get used to different kinds of vehicles. Some vehicles will be manual, some will be automatic, so get used to different transmissions. You can do tramping, which is where you sleep out in the truck. You could be sleeping in service stations, in lay-bys, and so you need to get used to that as well. That's something you like to do. Now, what I do advise some people to do, and it depends if you're into this sort of stuff, but I would advise ADR, getting your ADR in. And again, there's another myth that circulates the HGV industry, is I'm going to do my ADR and I'm going to earn 50, 60, 70 grand a year. No, it doesn't work like that. for the first 5 or 6 years or so, you're going to be earning probably just as much as what a normal HGV driver would earn, maybe a little tiny bit more, but it was not them kind of numbers that I've just said. So these companies that pay the 50 to 60 grand, so like the Shell and the BP, and they're the guys that have been doing it for 15, 20, 25, 30 years, maybe even more in some cases, and them guys have all the experience, and they're the guys that get paid that sort of money, and they're the guys that never leave the business until they retire, because the money's so good and they have their own set ways. So understand that it's very dangerous, and it's not just you'll get your ADR license and that's it. A lot of companies will want at least 4 years experience of driving the truck before they take you on for an ADR job. One thing I will say is it's very rare, once you've got a class 2 license or a class 1 license, that you will be ever out of work. Yeah, if one company's not for you, we can move on, and you can get into another agency and they'll get you another job, or you can apply for jobs and go cards in with companies. You know, got a lot of experience with it all. So now another question we get asked a lot is, can I drive a bus or a coach on a class 2 license? And the answer is no, you can't. So you can, because it's different. It's different, yeah. So your cargo's different. Your cargo's always moving, because you've got people on, and they're standing up, and on a coach they'll go to the toilet or walk down, speak to the driver. People walking down the bus to get off and getting on and walking up and down the steps. So yes, the vehicles are the same size in most cases. You know, sometimes the buses are actually a lot longer than a class 2 vehicle, but yes, it's a separate test altogether, and it's exactly the same as a truck test. You get on average about 4 full days, and then the 5th day will be your driving test, and also the CPC as well. So the CPC is a little bit different, obviously, again, down to the cargo. The vehicle's the same, but your cargo's different, so you need to learn all the aspects of that. So yeah, that's my take on all this. And then what I advise you to do, if trucking is for you and you do like driving the class 2 and you're enjoying it, because if you don't enjoy it, you're in the wrong industry. And not everyone enjoys sitting on the M6 in traffic, and not everyone enjoys staying out and sleeping in the trucks and stuff like that, but some people do. And if you're one of them people that do, I would advise, obviously circumstances depending, go for your class 1 driving license. You know, some companies, you can earn more driving a class 2 than you can in a class 1, but a lot of companies will pay you an enhanced rate over the top of a class 2. So yeah, and it's different kind of work. You know, you can do long distance hub to hub. You can do you don't really tend to get many jobs that do multi-drop. You might do 6 or 7 drops, dropping a quarter of a trailer off at each place, and then maybe do a couple of collections, but you'll never be doing multi-drop more than maybe 10 drops in a day or something. But yeah, they're a lot bigger. In my opinion, you get a lot more respect on the road. That's my take on what you should do after you pass your driving test. So I think we should recap a little bit. So you've passed your driving test, and if you've not already got it, apply for your taco card. If you've not already done it, do your module 4 to get your CPC card, and then ring up agencies, get into the agencies, take on any kind of work you can, obviously hours depending, and then do some research on what you can actually drive. Yeah, and there's obviously more things, more vehicles you can drive on the class 2. Like I forgot to mention, HIABs. You can go and for companies like B&Q, you can deliver roof tiles and stuff, where you're grabbing them off the back and lifting them over. Yeah, there's a lot of different aspects of driving you can do. So it's not, oh, let's just find a truck and deliver some pallets to a company. if you actually do your research and actually go spend some time looking for a job, you won't find it hard to get one. And then you're getting your experience. Then when you're 6 months to a year in and you apply for a job cards in, they're looking at your experience and looking at what you've done and the vehicles you've drove, and that's when more companies are inclined to take you on. The final thing I want to touch on is another myth that you hear a lot in this industry is what age should I be, or what's the best age to be to drive a truck. Now, in my opinion, a lot of companies have an over 25 policy, and it's not because they don't want anyone young in, it's because of their insurance policy, what they're with. So a lot of HGV insurance policies, especially fleet, when you've got more than one vehicle, one of their policies is to be over 25. That being said, I've had 2 learners in the last 3 months, and they've been both 21. They both passed the driving test. Funnily enough, one of them passed with 0 minors, and they're both in full-time employment at 21 years old. So don't be put off if you're a young male or female who wants to get into the industry. Doesn't matter how old you are, as long as your company. What you'll find is some companies will pay for your training, and then that kind of is okay with the insurance, I think, when you enhance someone and you know who you're bringing into the company. But I would, before you do anything, do your research. You know, every company I've ever rung up and asked for work, I've always got the history of the place and done my research on it, and I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. Look at the reviews online, look at what the customers are saying about their employer. So yeah, that's my take on what to do when you've done your class 2, and I think ultimately you want to be looking at moving up into the class 1 and getting your ADR license for the future, and it's something different as well. Maybe getting your HIAB license, you know, maybe working for a roofing company and being the truck driver who takes the scaffolding around the places. You can go and be a road sweeper, do the road sweepers, and you can do gritting. Gritting's a good one. I've done a bit of gritting myself, and it is very fun when you've got the snow plough on the front as well. So you'll find that kind of job is within the council. So they're not easy to get them jobs because you really have to be within the council to do that. But just the last bit before we go, my advice on what I enjoyed the most, other than driving instructing, because this is what I love to do now. The favourite industry I ever went in was being a refuse driver, and that is obviously a bin man, wagon driver. You can look at it any way you want, but the company I was working for, we only worked Tuesday to Friday because they didn't believe in working Mondays. You start at 7 in the morning due to the hours where we can't have the noise levels so high, so you have to start by law after 7 AM. And when you've finished, you go home, and then you come in the next day and do it all again. And I found that to be something that benefited me more. Obviously different circumstances change, but I have young children, so that's why I did that. But I enjoyed the job, I enjoyed the banter with the lads. You know, when you don't often get out the vehicle, but when you do, you have a laugh and you're learning how to put the bins on. And yeah, it's a dirty job, and yeah, it's a smelly job, but you get used to the smell and you get used to the dirt, and you know, as long as you take your clothes off at your front door, you know, what's the problem? So yeah, I hope this has helped in any way. If it has, then obviously, like we always say in all the videos, let me know, put a comment in, and yeah, help out our channel. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers now, and that is bonkers considering that I only started this as a little bit of help for the learners, and now it's kind of, some of the views are on 25,000, some of them are on 50,000, and we're getting a lot of positive comments regarding how many people this has helped. So we've helped people from all over the country. We've had people from Ireland on, we've had people from Africa, in Africa as well, people from Pakistan, we've had people from Ghana, I had someone from, was it Kazakhstan? I think it was Kazakhstan, who was saying they was watching the videos, and obviously in different countries they do things differently, but in some way it's been helping them. So I'm really happy it's helped you guys. If you do enjoy them, drop a subscribe, drop a follow, and yeah, tell us what you think, tell us where you're from, tell us any ideas you've got, and I'm happy to you know, answer any questions. If you look in the comments, I do kind of like to reply to every comment, obviously within reason, and any negative comments they just get blocked. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you stayed for 17 minutes and watched me for 17 minutes, then honestly you deserve a medal, because even I didn't like looking at myself for 17 minutes, but I feel like some people need to know what to do after you've passed. So yeah, I hope that's helped in some way, and yeah, enjoy your journey. Yeah, good luck guys, speak to you soon.